everyone. Hope you're all doing well. I am thinking of doing my lives Wednesdays and Sundays so that I can have more of a system so that who's following can actually have a little bit more consistency, and for me to have a little bit more consistency. So today is a Wednesday. Let's see how this works out. And other times where I could get information or I'm in the mood to share or something profound comes, I'll probably just record on my phone and then post them. And they'll be a lot shorter. But the Wednesdays and Sundays will be filled in a sense. So what I wanted to talk about is the empath and narcissistic relationship. However, this is not specifically to do with a healing. It's more of an insight where for the past week or over a week, let's say 2 weeks, as time is really shifting around for me, I have been receiving lots of messages from people who want sessions to do with narcissistic abuse. They're in abusive relationships, all this. And I love to help in that. Like, it is something I am really good at, and it's something I'm specialized at. It's something that I've worked with for 15 years. Wrote a book about it, and it's been part of my life dynamics. I've experienced tons of narcissists. I've healed a lot of wounds internally. I've done all of it. And as I start receiving those messages, I started to feel a little suffocated, because over a year ago I was like, I can't go there anymore. Like, this has to end. And then I fluctuate, because that is who I was in the past. This is what I did. I helped bring the light to the darkness, and the darkest of darkness to me are narcissists and those being abused by narcissists and the empaths. This is, like, to me, the darkest of the worlds. This is why the wars arise. This is why there is rape. This is why there is pain and suffering and just a lot of disgusting stuff that's taking place on the planet due to empaths and narcissists playing this game. And so I wanted to know, why is my body so repulsed? I get like dizzy, I get nauseous, and I'm like, this is so interesting. Am I being triggered? So of course I reached out to a friend of mine, and I was like, well, might be my calling. I mean, this is the thing that people really want me for, and yet I'm like, I don't want to do it anymore. And she profoundly shared with me that this could be an icky spot I'm in. There's fear there that once I'm in there, the darkness is so intense that I don't get to experience the light. And I sat with that message because it resonated. And then I started to journal with myself. I just wanted to know, like, is this what I'm really supposed to help through or not? Or is this something in my past that I need to close the door and let go of? And so as I was journaling, and I have a whole bunch of stuff that I wrote down, 2 pages worth, things started to show up about the empath and the narcissist. And I realized that because I was also the empath, the disempowered empath, completely disempowered, in narcissistic dynamics, a lot of them, I started to realize that I don't even want to go there, because for the past 2 weeks, due to being in that energy again, and and friends showing up and people showing up, and it's being in that energy again where I'm like validating the person in the abuse and having to rewire the neurons where they can actually, instead of focusing so hard on the narcissist all the time, to refocus here. It takes so much energy from my end. And it takes me into a darker space, because now I'm working with an empath who's in darkness, battling the darkness of the narcissist. So there is no light there at all, and I'm providing the light. And I remember my whole life, this is what I was doing. I was always trying to uplift people out of the darkness, spread them with light, but the effort was so intense. Now, as I healed and walked through it and let go of so many people and, went through the pain of being completely alone and that fear showing up and then moving past it, what I got to recognize is that I'm way past that. I'm in a different place right now, and the way I can help and heal is from a different paradigm. Yes, I validate, I understand what narcissism is all about and the victims of narcissists, but what came to me was, and it was very clear because I was trying to figure it out for myself, is that the empath and the narcissist are playing the same game. The empath and the narcissist are both in darkness. The empath and the narcissist, the disempowered empath, let's call the D-empath, okay, they're both in their ego, locked so deeply in their ego. They're both in challenge of each other. They both want to control one another. They both want to control the relationship. They both want to control the situation. They both have deep lack. They both have deep self-loathing. They both have deep unworthiness. Like, there's so many similarities. And that's why the empath, the disempowered empath, sometimes can believe that they're narcissists, although they're not, because the intentions are different and the desires are different. But they have the same, the darkness, the ego has completely consumed them. Now, I don't want the empaths to feel guilty or shame, or because I know that's the place you guys go. That's the place I used to go. So I get it. I understand that. My point here is to share with you that because it's, to me, it was like being trapped in the 3D world where it's black or white, wrong or right, this or that, right? It's like between the empath and the disempowered empath and the narcissist, they are mirroring each other in a sense, right? So both want control for different reasons, but both want control. So the empath, the disempowered empath, wants control so that they can feel that they are worthy. They want to control their partner, like, show me love this way. This is what you have to do. This is how you have to respond. This is how you have to listen to me. This is how I need to be shown love. Da, 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 da. And it's always a competition. It's always like a fight or flight. There's always a need for something, and they can't receive it from themselves, right? It has to be from the narcissist. And it's the same thing with the narcissist. However, the narcissist does all this because they want to feel powerful. They want to feel confident. They want to feel like they are on top of the world by putting down someone else. It's still controlling. I need to control who you are. I need to control the disempowered empath to live the way I want them to live so that I can feel powerful. And the way the narcissist knows how to do it, because they have no empathy at all, is by devaluing, humiliating, disrespecting, treating really badly the empath, the disempowered empath. The disempowered empath, on the other hand, wants to change the narcissist, make them more loving, make them more empathetic, make them more compassionate towards them so that they can feel worthy and validated and all that. So they're very similar, as they both want to control each other, and they're both playing the game. And they're both based in the ego. So much ego. There's an ego trap. Neither of them have any light coming in, right? So I'm going to talk more about the disempowered empath. The disempowered empath wants to feel worthy, wants to be respected, wants to feel appreciated, wants to feel all those things, and expects to get them from another human being. Expects to get them from the narcissist, who simply doesn't give those things. The narcissist expects to receive somebody to like bow down to them, to look up to them, to think they're wonderful, to give them all their power, to jump through hoops, to do everything for them, so that the narcissist can feel empowered and worthy and validated, right? But neither of them can ever accomplish that. It's never fulfilling. So what happens in this dynamics is that their ego is very in control. Very, very in control, right? And they're so busy, like, I'm going to talk from the empath, disempowered. The disempowered empath is so busy in their mental jabber, right? In their, oh, this is what they did, so I should do this. This is the way that I met. Let them, make them do. I'll punish them also. I'll do this. So there's still that thought-based, believing thoughts, having no worth, having no value, and completely trapped in darkness. Here, it's too much mental. It's for me, where I'm now in a different place. I have noticed that there's too much mental entanglement with the narcissist and the darkness and the egoic self, that it's so much effort to shift the neurons within the empath. It's like I have to constantly remind them and convince them and let them see and all this stuff for them to see the light, for them to finally shift. And I'm working on the workshop I told you that I'm editing out so that I can share it with everyone, because I don't want to give them anymore, these live sessions. I just want to offer them because they're very insightful, they're super helpful, but they're at a different stage of life than where I am now. I can't go into that darkness anymore, even for the empath, because to me the empaths are completely trapped in the darkness there, and pouring light or trying to pull them out is exhausting, and it brings me in a place where I don't like to be anymore, because I have to dive in there also, and I just don't want to go there. But I want to share this with all you disempowered empaths. You must know that you are completely trapped in darkness, and to find the light, you have to focus towards yourself rather than understand why the narcissist is doing this. What is narcissism? That's very great and wonderful at the beginning. But if you're spending your life researching, trying to figure it out, and not moving on from it and not moving away from it, it's impossible to get out of it. It's impossible to step away. It's impossible to see the light. It's impossible to get out of the ego. So it's very important that even if you are in a narcissistic relationship, for you to, like I mentioned in one of my lives, you have to say it, name it. This person is a narcissist. Even if you feel guilty about it or that you're being judgmental, just name it, know it, and then just know, by naming that a narcissist means I'm a disempowered empath, means I am in the darkness with them, and I'm doing exactly what they're doing with a different intention. But it's the same exact game. I want them to hear me, so I will do everything. I want them to get it, so I will send emails and write and take courses on how to communicate better so that I can get them to see my point of view. They also want you to get to see their point of view, and the points of view are completely different. One is empath-based, fully empathetic-based, that has no empathy for themselves at all. And the other is completely selfish-based, which is, it's just for me no matter who I hurt on the way, but as long as I can feel good about myself. And they're both lacking love. They're both lacking inner love, inner light, introspection, right? So the disempowered empath, and I was like that, okay, is always in the blame game. They did, therefore I did. I'm the victim of them. I'm the da-da-da-da-da. And that's the way, and that's all the mental. That's where the head is, right? That's why it becomes foggy and anxiety all the time, because you don't know right from wrong. You're so confused all the time, right? And you want them, you're doing everything in your power to get the narcissist to get you to apologize, to give back your sanity, to give back your worth, to give back your value. But that's only through the mental, because nobody has it but you, right? Nobody will give it to you but you. And so it's really hard to go in that dynamics. Both are fear-based people. The disempowered empath and the narcissist are both fear-based people, right? They're playing the same mental games, right? They both are looking for their worth. They're playing the game differently, but the underlying game is exactly the same. It's a really dark world to live in, right? It's a really dark world to be in. It is exhausting, it is demeaning, and it's very 3D based, right? It isn't oneness. It isn't something different. It isn't I choose not to be in that world anymore, and I choose to deal with my loneliness, deal with my unworthiness on my own and figure it out for my own, but I'm not waiting for anyone to validate it. I'm not waiting for mom and dad. I'm not waiting for siblings. I'm not waiting for friends. I'm not waiting for that partner. I am simply going to try to figure out how to do it on my own, because as a people pleaser, the only reason we want to people please or to please the narcissist is to feel worthy, right? It still has to do with something good for me. It's not really, well, I'm so kind to everybody and I do all these things. There's a thing that you want. There's a validation that you need. There's something that you need from others for people pleasing, right? Or being a codependent, or the attachment style kind of relationships. I need something from someone else so I can feel better about me, so that I can see the goodness of me. Still mental, still ego. It's the ego asking for that, but it's not your true essence or your true essence. In general, the dynamics between a disempowered empath and a narcissist, both are never fulfilled. Never fulfilled. Neither nor are getting fulfilled. The difference is the disempowered empath is living in a utopic dream of the ideal person, partner, wanting the narcissist to live up to it, because maybe the narcissist love bombed at the beginning in the ideal partner, which represented what the empath really desired, and now the empath is hooked onto those few months, few weeks, few years that looked like that, and now keeps wanting that narcissist to go back to that, and therefore the disempowered empath is actually in love with the idea of who they want the narcissist to be, which they're not. So they're also in the mental brain and believing the mental jabber. And the narcissist also had a perception of who that empath, disempowered empath, is going to be for them, right? Which is fulfill their every need and desire immediately on the spot, and if not, they'll be punished. So both are living in an illusion, draining the other, okay? So it just simply doesn't work. It's just, they're both in darkness, and they're both dark. And I know this is hard for empaths to hear. I know it's so much easier to blame the narcissist. And yes, I'll blame the narcissist. I think they're the darkest entities on the planet. But when a disempowered empath is in relationship with them and will not leave and will stay, they're also too dark to be around. They're also heavy to be around, right? They're also too much in their mental mind that they don't hear their intuition. They're not in touch with the light or brightness, or they're just not. And it's hard to get through past them, because all their conversations are about the narcissist, all their conversations about how to get back. No matter how many times somebody tells them, well, this is the narcissist, how many videos they watch, they're still trapped in it, because all they want is their worth back. They want their value back, and they think that entity has their value when it never has been. That's why the only reason a narcissist enters a disempowered empath's life is for the disempowered empath to finally wake up to their truth, because of too much suffocation, that they're like, I'm done with all this. I don't care if they show me value, if I pay them back, if there's revenge. I'm done with that entire world, and I just want to go off and figure me out. I want to discover who I am. I know I'm not that. I'm suffocated from my brain. I'm suffocated from playing the game. I'm suffocated that I can't be myself. I don't even who myself is, who myself is, and I'm going to go discover that. That's basically when the freedom actually happens, is when that door is shut and it's like, I'm done with that world. That dark world that I was a part of, and I was playing a game in it also, I don't want to do it anymore. I choose that I'm done. That's how I started. Both of them are miserable. The disempowered empath and the narcissist, they're miserable. They're miserable people. They're just misery walking around, right? The disempowered empath doesn't want to be a victim of life, and yet the disempowered empath is a victim of life, right? And is a victim of the relationship. Little do they know that they're a victim of their own fears that are keeping them in these relationships. The fears of being alone, the fears of not fitting in, the fears of not belonging, the fear of being wrong. All these fears, nobody is actually trapping them in a relationship. Right? Nobody's trapping them to continue talking, to keep staying, nothing. Even if we come up with, well, it's, I have kids, I have this, they have the money, blah, blah, blah. At the end, we are the ones trapping ourselves, because I can choose to still stay in it, know that they're narc, and work on myself throughout the dynamics until I have more confidence and stability inside. But it's no more the game of a challenge and control and being a victim of it anymore. I hope this is making sense. I don't want anyone to feel really bad about themselves, because empaths are so good at guilting themselves all the time. But what I'm trying to say is the reason it's hard for me to go back in there, because I've recognized in the last 2 weeks, going there was so much effort and so painful and so dark. And it came with an old life. It's like that life is completely done for me. That's not the world I want to live in anymore. It's not the world of there's empath and narcissist. It's not the world anymore. And if there are narcissists everywhere. I agree. They're all over the place, and there are a lot of disempowered empaths all over the place. It's exhausting in the world to live there because it's always a war. There's a war and there's a fight and there's someone standing for their rights, the other attacking, and it's just chaos and war. And for me, it's like I need to focus here and to bring light in a different way for everybody, right? Which is self-reflection, which is going deeper in, which is igniting the light, but not to convince people that you're in a narcissistic relationship. I can validate people, yes. I know the ins and outs. I'm telling you, I'm really good at what I do. But I could be really good at what I do and not like it anymore. Not feel that this is my exact purpose right here, because there are so many that are doing that right now and have been doing it for years. But it's like I'm at a different level, or I'm in a different portal or a different realm where it's more of like I need to experience source. I need to experience light. I cannot put my energy anymore into narcissists and fighting narcissism, bringing empaths into the light because they're in narcissism. It's too dark and too heavy. But I can help you all once you are ready to self-reflect, to go in and to ignite your own light, without needing to be pulled out or convinced or talked into, right? Like that is not a role I want to play anymore, right? It was a deep passion I had, and it was mainly because I needed to bring myself out of it, and now it's no more there. It's like, it's your life path. Choose what you want. This is all I'm going to say about it. I know, I get images, I sense, I feel that person's a narcissist, you're a victim of that, or you are a disempowered empath. I can help you. I'm not going to force you to see it or continuously keep coming back to help you see that, because it drags me back down. It puts me in a place of black and white, right and wrong, and that's not where I want to go. Here I wrote, empaths are guilt-driven, guilty of existing, guilty of having a voice. Narcs are shame-driven, shamed of themselves and their weakness. So they have to be powerful. Both are self-loathing. Both have mental jabbers. Both listen to their egos 100% and do not hear the intuition and the inner wisdom that they have. They're ego-controlled. Both want to control the other. If I give you what I want, what you want, if I give up myself for you, will you give me the love? That's the empath. Will you give me the love that I cannot find in myself, right? And the narcissist is, if you give up yourself for me, will I be in power, the power, because I'm so weak inside, right? So they both really dislike each other. There's a loathing happening inside. So the reason I'm sharing this today is because after I posted, I can do once a week for narcissist. That's when the whole body, like even talking about it now, there's like it's a different density. It's like there's a heaviness in the energy. There's a heaviness in the world. And I'm sure this is mine to also heal, to heal whatever it is that I need to heal in it, because I'm feeling it. However, this is not the place I want to be in. This is not the help I can provide, because it's a different kind of service now. My help is how to remember source, how to feel that light, how to start to notice all the wonderful things in life happening, how to change the dynamics from within. My truest freedom comes in when I am connected to source and seeing the delights of life, even when I'm in pain and releasing what needs to be released, but I know it's done for my highest good. In the world of the disempowered empaths and the narcissists, it's so dark, so heavy, so much ego, that I'm looking for people who are done with that and who are really searching to find self, to connect with source, to connect with themselves, to figure themselves out, and not from the beginning of narcissist or even stage 2, right? But more of the stage 3. You could still have had narcissistic, and you could still be, sometimes I still discover, oh my God, this person has been a narcissist this whole time. And I still discover, but the attachment is so different. It's more of like, oh my God, God is showing me more. God is freeing me more. it's less of I have to battle it. What's wrong with me? I have to figure it out. Why am I still attracting it? Da, 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 da. I'm done with that. I'm not attracting it. It just is there. They are there. But I refuse to be a disempowered empath. I refuse to live in judgment. I refuse to live in blaming myself or blaming someone to feel better about who I am. You know, that's the world I'm in now. And so I need to like remove and detox from this narcissistic world, because it is an old world for me, for where I'm at today. It is an old, heavy world. I can even feel the anxiety of it as I speak about it. It's dark, it's heavy, it's always fighting against proving something, proving I'm better than them, or oh my God, maybe I'm not, or it's heavy, it's dark, and I really hope that all disempowered empaths can choose not to be so trapped and engulfed with their ego and their thoughts, believing that their worth is the opposite of the narc, like trying to see, am I the opposite of the narc? Am I the narc? Am I the opposite of the narc? Am I the narc? Like in all that, and just let go of the whole narcissistic thing. Like they exist, yes, 100%. They're around, yes, 100%. And just let go of having to define them as anything and look into you. How do I feel? It's like coming back to trusting. How do I feel inside around this person? I don't feel good. That's all. That's it. I don't feel good. I feel like I walk on eggshells. I lose myself. I'm in my head. I get anxieties. I get depressed. I feel depleted. Like, notice you. It's time for you to notice you. Like, because what happens in these dynamics, the narcissist is 100% focused on you and all the other people that they have to get supply from, right? They're not focused on self. And the disempowered empath is 100% focused, 99.9% focused on the narcissist. What are they going to do now? Now, today I'll stand up for myself. Oh, maybe I should be nicer. Oh, I got the silent treatment. This is what I need to do. Oh, da, da. So there's no self. Both are lost. But with the disempowered empath, there's hope, because they can self-reflect at some point. There's a possibility to self-reflect. There's a possibility to know, oh my God, it's my lack. It's my worth. Nobody can give it to me. I need to figure it out. With the narcissist, from what I've seen, there is no hope there. But with the disempowered empath, there is hope. And a lot wake up from it, including me, right? And it takes a time and a while, but as long as you focus on you, it's so important. Focus on me, not who the narcissist is, not who I need to become to be the opposite of that, or who I need to become to fight that, or who I need to become to whatever. It has nothing to do with comparing myself to that entity, but more of who am I to me? Why am I feeling all these feelings? Why don't I feel worthy? Why don't I feel like I have value? Why don't I respect myself? Why is it okay for people to speak to me that way? What's my tolerance level? Why can I tolerate so much crap? If I tolerate so much crap, that means my worth is so low. Why is my worth so low? And it becomes a self-investigation, a self-discovery, and it's less focusing on the narcissist, where they can't have your energy anymore. So then now you have more of your energy and you're self-reflecting. It's more about you. When you get triggered by the narcissist, you immediately go to discover what triggered in me, what's the real pain. It's like all of a sudden you're studying you for the first time, and that's the only freedom. Other than that, it's just two egos fighting against each other, playing that dirty game, each ego trying to prove that they're right, that no, I'm supposed to be loved this way. You narcissists should love me this way. I have never gotten it in my life. You showed it to me in the love bombing and you took it away. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? And the expectation from them, right? Where's your expectation from yourself? And this is the scariest thing. I had to face my demons. I had to face the fear of loneliness, the fear of being alone, the fear of being rejected, right? The fear of not belonging, the biggest fear of being wrong, right? So all these are mine. It was never theirs. Never theirs. But I would have continued to be a disempowered empath if I still fought against the narcissist, trying to discover who I am in opposite to the narcissist. A lot of the traits that the narcissist had, I had inside. Weakness, fear, fear of abandonment. Do you think the narcissist doesn't have a fear of abandonment? You leave a narcissist and they go haywire. Only they can leave you, right? But so we're very similar in our pains. We're trapped in the ego. But we have an opportunity as empath to step out of that, to remember source, to remember our light, and to focus the light here instead of try to heal them, fix them, figure them out, all that stuff. It's a different paradigm. It's completely different. So I really wanted to share this. This is my ultimate truth. This is where I'm at right now. It could change. I don't know. But as of now, for the past year, if not more, I have wanted out. But the thing that kept me in and helping all these incredible women and a few men and helping myself is I'm so good at it. I'm so good at it. And then I heard something amazing, which said, doing something you are really good at, but hate. I was like, oh my God, I hate it now. I don't like it. I can't be there around it anymore. It's not where I'm at. It's not the world I want to live in anymore. And I was like debating with but I'm really good at it. I can help so many people. I've helped thousands of women. You know, I can do this for them. But then at the time, I also needed that validation for myself. And now it's like, I don't need to know that I can do this because I've been saving family and friends since I was a little girl. This is the old me. This is the survivor version of me. This is the version of me that wanted to help everybody and couldn't help herself. So she helped everybody. And then she finally was able to help herself and decided, I can't breathe in that dynamics of savior, of bringing the light in. And now I'm choosing not to. So this is a self-discovery. I hope this is helping everyone who's in this dynamics. I have a few friends who are still trapped in it. I just can't hear it anymore because it's a repetition on my end. And then after they leave, they're like, yes, you're right. And and I shift and change. But once they go into the same house with the narcissist, it's all back to square zero. And I'm like, you know what? Unless the person truly chooses to step out of the ego, to leave that world behind, to decide that they are more important than their fear, then I can't be of service anymore because I get drained. It's like a suckage. The disempowered empath sucks my energy out similarly to a narcissist. The narcissist is more intense, but the disempowered empath still sucks it out because they're in their head and I can't get into their soul. I have to do so much work, which I used to enjoy. To me, it was delightful, but now it's just heavy. It's completely heavy. So I love you all dearly. Let me know what your feedback is. I hope I was as helpful and as honest as I could be about this. It was a bit challenging to come out here and put it in the form that I did because, of course, we have to be like, you poor empaths, you're the light workers, you must break free. And I'm like, you know what? They're not free of their own ego. So here I wrote a very big sentence, which I'm going to end this live with, is neither one of them, not the disempowered empath nor the narcissist, have found themselves. They only keep to seek to find themselves in the other, in their own ways. Both of them have not found themselves, don't choose to find themselves, choose to live in the blame game. So unless you decide not to live in the blame game, step up. No more sit and speak about the narcissist and sit and speak about yourself. You can vent, you can think, but it's not the venting, which I used to do, like the venting, the nonstop, where the person in front of me is like dying and I'm just trying to make reason out of it, you know, and then I'm like, yeah, but honestly, sometimes he's really, really nice, but sometimes he's done this, and it's just crazy. It's absolutely a crazy world, and it's a very dense, dark world. So yeah. Okay, love you all deeply, and leave me your comments. What do you think of this? Has this clicked with you? Can you see what I'm talking about? Does this even resonate with you in any form? I really hope it does, because going from one narcissist to the next is the natural consequence if there's no self-reflection, and it's only about shutting off your kindness and your love and your compassion and being vengeful and all this. Because of the narcissist, you will only fall into another one. because they're there for you to wake up. I love you all. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you Sunday, or maybe before that. I don't even know, but Wednesdays and Sundays I will be live, and I'll still fluctuate with the timings until I find a time that actually resonates with me best, so that you're more privy to my lives. Take care of yourselves. Bye. Hi.